Jeanne Brousse Died was born on the 12th of April 1921 and died on the 19th of October 2017. She, known as Jeanette, was born in Saint-Pierre-de-Courtil in the Savoie region of France. She was a member of the French resistance during Ouai and she is a member of the Righteous Among the Nations. Jeanne Brousse grew up in Annecy, France. Her father, a former combatant in World War I who had been gassed by the Germans, worked at the local prefecture in Haute-Savoie. At age 18, she wanted to study in Paris to become a nurse with the French Red Cross, but the declaration of war prevented her from pursuing her plans. After doing some other work, Brousse became a civil servant at the local Haute-Savoie prefecture in Annecy. She was assigned to the Refugee Naturalization Service, initially as an assistant, and later as a full-fledged employee. In 1941, she joined the newly created Refugee Service, which had been designed to help people who were just arriving to the region. In November 1942, a woman by the name of Suzanne approached her for help with her ID cards. Her husband, Francis Aaron, a reserve officer in the army who was injured in 1940 and received the Legion of Honor, had burnt their ID papers so that, as Jews, they would have to wear the yellow star. Suzanne also needed ID cards for the three daughters of Henrici, the rabbi of Valence, France, who were under her care. Brousse began to make fake ID cards, 4 of them under the name Karen, and 3 for the C daughters under the name Shro. The girls, as well as the Aaron children, found a hiding place in the farm belonging to Jeanne's maternal grandparents. By February 1943, Brousse was helping young men born in 1919, 1920, and 1921 to escape the call for mandatory service. Through her job at the prefecture, she obtained a night pass, which allowed her to travel past curfew. After seeing at work the names of the young men who were to be summoned for mandatory service, she took advantage of her night pass in order to go and warn the families. During that period, men started to arrive from other regions to hide in the mountains. She provided them with fake ID cards, which listed their place of birth as either being a French city that had been bombed, or a town in North Africa, in order that their civil status could not be verified. In March 1943, Brousse met Geneviève de Gaulle, who was looking for someone who could distribute newspapers clandestinely. She helped de Gaulle furnish falsified documents to the men who refused to comply with mandatory service. She helped refugees cross the border into Switzerland with the assistance of some of the Annemasse Geneva railroad workers, the Protestant community in Annemasse, and the wife of the Protestant pastor, Jeanne Brousse. In September 1944, Brousse married Jeanne Brousse, a colleague from the prefecture who worked in the office of the prefect. He had previously been imprisoned, along with other men, during a French militia raid. After the war, Rabbi C., now head of the Israeli Seminary of France, testified about Brousse's role in saving his life as well as those of his 3 daughters, Françoise, Nicole, and Danielle. In 1973, the State of Israel awarded Brousse the title of Righteous Among the Nations. In 1974, the General Consul of Israel in Paris bestowed on her the Medal of the Righteous Gentiles, and she was invited to plant a tree at the Yad Vashem Memorial in Jerusalem. In 1981, Brousse was one of the founding members of the French chapter of the Association of the Righteous Among the Nations. In 1987, she joined the French Yad Vashem Committee, of which she remained the vice president for several years. She was also the honorary president of the Heroic Saviors of Haute-Savoie. She participated in the Concours National de la Résistance et de la Déportation, sharing her experience in schools and during National Day Against Racism and Anti-Semitism ceremonies. She was a member of the jury for the departmental competition on resistance and deportation,